Before diving into heart-pounding dog stories, please subscribe to my channel. Many people watch the videos without subscribing. Your subscription helps me create stories like this. And turn on the notification bell for more stories like this. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and tell me in the comments where you're watching this video from. The officer was crying beside his K9 partner's coffin. His best friend, lost forever. But just as they prepared to lower the coffin, a single bark shattered the silence. What happened next not only left everyone in shock, but revealed a truth no one saw coming, and brought justice roaring back to life. Officer Ryan had faced his fair share of danger. For more than a decade, he walked the thin blue line, facing situations that would freeze anyone's blood. But he never walked it alone. Titan, his German Shepherd K9, had been by his side since his very first patrol. From the moment they were paired, something clicked. A bond deeper than that of handler and dog. Titan wasn't just a tool or a partner. He was family. Together they chased armed fugitives, detected hidden explosives, and protected schools from unseen threats. Titan had a reputation, fierce in the field but gentle with children. More than once, Ryan had seen him approach a crying child during school demonstrations with tender care. His instincts were as emotionally sharp as they were physical. They were a team in every sense of the word. One heartbeat, one mission. Then came that night. A late call from dispatch. A warehouse robbery that turned violent. Ryan and Titan arrived to back up the SWAT team. It should have been routine. But as they entered through a side door, a hidden trap exploded. Chaos erupted in a flash of fire and smoke. Ryan lost sight of Titan. He called out again and again, but no bark answered. Hours later, when the scene was cleared, a paramedic found Titan lying still, covered in dust and blood. He wasn't responding. The vet said it was over. Cause, massive internal injuries. Ryan didn't remember how he got home that night. He only remembered the silence in the passenger seat. The department offered to bury Titan with honors. Ryan accepted, but his heart felt empty. How do you bury a part of yourself and still keep breathing? As the funeral approached, he rehearsed what to say. Nothing sounded right. He could only think, you deserved so much more. The day of the funeral dawned under a gray sky and bone-chilling cold. The police department had done everything they could. Flags at half-mast. A K9 honor guard standing in perfect formation. And at the center of the hall, a velvet-lined casket. Inside, Titan lay motionless, his fur carefully brushed, his service badge polished beside his head. A single white rose had been placed beneath his paw, by Ryan himself that morning. The crowd gathered in respectful silence. Officers in uniform, children holding handmade signs that read, "Thank you, Titan," and neighbors who remembered the dog that once saved a child from drowning in the lake. Ryan stood beside the casket, his hand never leaving the edge. His face pale, eyes swollen from exhaustion and grief. When he stepped up to the podium, no one breathed. He cleared his throat, but his words came out broken. Titan wasn't just my partner. He was my shield, my compass, my best friend. His voice cracked as he looked at the still body. Every time I walked into danger, he went first. Always. The crowd bowed their heads. Some wiped away tears. As the trumpeter played a solemn rendition of "Taps," Ryan leaned down and stroked behind Titan's ear, just as he had before every mission. "Good job, boy," he whispered. "You did so well." The hall fell into absolute silence, as if the world itself held its breath. Then came that silence, deep, unbroken, heavy. Ryan looked at the coffin again, not knowing that silence was about to be shattered forever. When the final note of "Taps" faded into the air, a strange sound pierced the silence, a low, rough bark. At first, everyone thought they'd imagined it. Heads turned, eyes widened. Ryan froze, hands still on the casket. The sound came again, louder, more desperate. A bark. Real. Alive. A murmur of astonishment swept through the crowd as the casket began to move, just slightly. A weak paw twitched beneath the satin fabric. Ryan staggered back, heart pounding, unable to comprehend what he was seeing. Titan, the dog he had held lifeless in his arms only days earlier, let out another faint bark, and opened his eyes. Chaos erupted, but not the kind of panic. It was the chaos of a miracle. Paramedics rushed forward, opening the lid. Titan was breathing heavily, but breathing. Bruised, wounded, but alive. Ryan fell to his knees. "Titan," he whispered. The dog's eyes met his, clouded with pain, but still filled with that same loyalty. Titan's tail moved weakly. The room filled with tears and applause. Even the trumpeter dropped his instrument and cried. No one could explain it. The vet later said it might have been a coma, a temporary vital shutdown. But Ryan didn't care how. He only knew that bark was real. Titan had returned, not just from the edge of death, but from oblivion. With that bark, he rewrote the ending of his story. Justice wasn't done with them yet. And neither was he. Titan was rushed to the veterinary clinic, sirens blazing. Ryan rode beside him, holding his paw the whole way. The vets worked tirelessly, fluids, warmth, scans. He had serious internal injuries and shock, but he was a fighter. Within hours, his vitals stabilized. Within days, he was sitting up. The news of the resurrected hero dog spread like wildfire. Reporters camped outside the clinic. Letters, toys, and flowers poured in from across the country. Titan, the dog everyone thought was dead, became a symbol of loyalty and resilience. But amid the celebration, a dark question arose. How had he ended up unconscious in the first place? Ryan couldn't stop thinking something had been missed. He retraced the steps of his last mission, days before the incident. They had been tracking a suspect involved in several violent robberies. Titan had run ahead into an abandoned warehouse. Minutes later, Ryan found him unconscious near a back exit. The suspect had vanished. Now, as Titan regained strength, Ryan brought a sweatshirt from the suspect to the hospital, sealed as evidence. He held it out to the dog, hesitating. Titan sniffed once, and growled. A low, unmistakable growl. Recognition. Ryan leaned closer. You remember him, don't you? Titan's eyes focused. For the first time since waking up, his body tensed. He wasn't just a victim. He was a witness. And if Ryan followed his lead, they could catch the man who tried to silence a hero. Titan had come back from death to finish the job. With that clue, Ryan reopened the investigation. He worked with the top K9 unit, reviewing body cam footage, scent trails, and thermal images. Meanwhile, Titan, still recovering, insisted on training. Every time Ryan clipped on the leash, his eyes lit up with that familiar fire. It didn't take long. Titan led Ryan to a nearby dock, one that hadn't been searched thoroughly. Inside a rusted container, they found what had been missed: gloves, a phone, and burned clothes. A week later, the suspect was arrested. An ex-con with ties to an organized robbery gang. Titan had done it. Beaten, buried, nearly lost. And still, he brought justice home. The department didn't just celebrate. They did something bigger. They renamed the K9 unit in his honor, Titan Division. Titan became a national symbol of loyalty and courage. Ryan and Titan were invited to schools, veterans events, and fundraisers for K9 units. People lined up for hours just to see him. And yet, at home, nothing changed. Titan still slept beside Ryan. Still waited for him at the door. Still looked at him with that same unconditional love. One night, Ryan knelt beside him, stroking his now gray fur. You didn't just come back, he whispered. You came back for a reason. Titan wagged his tail once, soft, firm. Because loyalty never dies. And sometimes, heroes don't either. If this happened to you, would you forgive, or fight for justice? Let me know in the comments.